Yo, yo, is this thing working? Yo, yo, is this thing on? Yo. What is up, everybody, and welcome to S&K's new YouTube channel. I really can't think of a better way to start our YouTube channel off by talking about houseplants, and more specifically, a beginner's guide to houseplants. So there you are, you're sitting in your home or your office and you're staring at that blank table or that blank desk and you're like, man, I really need a houseplant there. I need something green there. I need something to make this space come alive. Well, just hang on a second. Before you just go crazy and start putting houseplants everywhere, you gotta choose the right one for the space. And when looking at this space, you gotta ask yourself, does this get low light, medium light, or bright indirect light? So bright indirect light, let me give you an example. This would be bright indirect. See these staghorn ferns? They're like right near this window. And this is in the afternoon. It's cloudy today, but throughout the day this gets a nice stream of bright indirect light. That means you can grow about any houseplant in those conditions. So if you have a space like that, a window sill, a sun porch, something by the door, you can pretty much grow any houseplant in that situation. All right, now let's talk about medium light. Medium light is, it's still receiving bright light maybe through a window or door, but you know, it might be several feet away. So I'll show you an example. Pretend like this is your coffee table and that's like your front door, and you see how it's like there's still light hitting it from the door, but it's away from the door. It's not like right up against it. This is a situation that we would call medium light. And finally, there's low light. And low light's kind of self-explanatory. You know, it's not getting any light from a window, door, or anything like that. It's mainly just artificial light, and it's kind of just sitting in the middle of a room somewhere. I'll show you an example of low light. Step back in here for a second in the office, and you see how like that's a pothos, and it's just kind of, you know, it's not in the window, it's away enough from the window, it's really not receiving much light from the window. It's mainly just getting, you know, that fluorescent lighting that are in most offices. So let's quickly jump into some examples of plants that can tolerate low light. The first plant I'll show you is the classic snake plant. This is also called Sansevieria. Some people call them mother-in-law's tongue. They come in dark green, or they can also come in variegated form like this one. Great plant. It's almost like, I think it is in the succulent family. You water it about once every 10 days and it can thrive in any of the light situations I was talking to you about earlier. Up next we have the ZZ plant. This plant is just as amazing as the snake plant. It can take low light, medium light, bright light, you name it. Stems from Africa, and very drought tolerant there. So if you miss a week watering this thing, it's not going to die on you. This plant is awesome. So we have pothos. We've got the marble queen in my left, the golden pothos in my right. Sorry, I almost forgot what they were. But pretty much any pothos you see, there's lots of varieties. They can all tolerate low light. So this is great for an office or just any space that doesn't receive a lot of light. Another great example of low light houseplants, calatheas. Look how awesome these are. They almost have like a tropical-ish foliage. And there's so many varieties of these. But another great example of a low light houseplant. Also, I'll say on these, they're not as maybe drought tolerant, or they're a little more picky if you miswater them, you know, unlike the snake or ZZ. or pothos, but they're still pretty easy to take care of. I'm lumping bright light and medium light into the same category because a lot of these plants I'm going to show you that can take bright light can also take medium light as well. This is a super popular one. This is a lemon button fern. It actually has like a lemony scent to it, but this is a great example of a medium to bright light houseplant. The soil needs to be kept constantly moist on this one, as most ferns. This is a money tree. If you grow this one long enough, you can actually pick dollar bills from it. But seriously, this is another easy plant to grow. It naturally grows in this braided form once it gets started as such. And you basically, again, water about once a week, keeping the soil moist. Last example I'll show you is the Monstera and the Philodendron. They're kind of in the same family, but these are great medium to bright light houseplants. On watering these, it's pretty much like most of them. Keep the soil moist but not soaking wet, which means you're probably going to water them about once every 5 to 7 days. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go over how to water each and every houseplant that there is, but as a general rule of thumb, here it is. Keep your soil moist but not soaking wet. Now I know some of you experts out there are like, wait a minute. Now not all houseplants like to stay moist, and that's true. So like the snake plant, the ZZ plant, some of those cacti like plants, most succulents, they really do want to dry out a bit before you water them. So you know, you can water them good, like give them a good soaking, but then let them dry out, like let the soil dry out almost like halfway down the pot before you water again. Now for all you beginners and maybe some of you experts, I'm going to give you a bonus tip that will make life so much easier when it comes to watering your houseplants. So in the world of houseplants, these saucers really can be your best friend, and they have another practical use that a lot of people don't know about other than just keeping water out of your floor. So put your houseplant on top of the saucer, and when it comes time to water, just water the saucer, let it fill up, and your houseplant will actually drink what it needs from the bottom of the saucer. Now you can leave that water in there an hour or two, and then just dump out the excess water, and voila, your houseplant has drinking just enough water. Now this only works if your houseplant is rooted in the pot well, because those roots have to wick up the water from the bottom. So if you've just transplanted your houseplant and it's got a root into the pot still, you might want to still water from the top until the roots fill in. Now if you want to learn more, and you want to learn more about houseplants and what they need, just go to skgreenhouses.com, shameless plug there, and you'll find all kinds of information. We're even shipping these bad boys out, so you don't have to be local. If you live in California, yes, California, we ship these houseplants to you. skgreenhouses.com. There's a ton of resources there to let you know about plant needs and what type of light and water requirements they may have. This channel is for plants, gardening, anything that pertains to the plant world, we're going to cover on this channel. So if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and you'll receive notifications when a new video releases. If you follow this channel, you're going to learn so much about plants, and you are going to be dancing about it.